Hey everyone, Justin here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a quick look at and walking you through the install of the powered and heated driver's side mirror in chrome, available for your 2013 through 2018 Ram 1500. Now, you should be considering this option for your 4th gen if you have damaged the stock mirror and are just looking for a super affordable powered replacement that will feature a simple plug and play install for most owners at home. So the big feature here with these mirrors, guys, will be the factory styled replacement, but at a super affordable price point. And this is something, by the way, that I've seen echoed in the customer review section over and over again. And if you don't believe me, feel free to read up on some of those reviews before pulling the trigger. Now, maybe you've damaged one side of your factory mirrors here and you don't want to pay the nearly $700 to $800 for a factory replacement from Ram. Now, one thing I do want to point out, guys, is that even though we are featuring only the driver's side on the table here today, both the driver's side and the passenger side are available separately on the site. So again, depending on what side you might possibly have damaged here, you can grab that on the site, or if you're looking to replace both at the same time, you can certainly do that by grabbing both. Now, getting into some of your more specific features, and you'll find again a lot of that same functionality found in the factory mirrors as long as you have it there in the first place. Now, this does include things like the power adjustability, the built-in heating element, which will help with the frosting on those cold mornings, LED turn signals and puddle lights, and then finally that bright chrome housing here, making this, by the way, a great choice, of course, for Ram owners out there with chrome package trucks, or maybe you're just a Ram owner looking to add more chrome into the appearance. Certainly a great option here. Now, I do want to point out again, like I mentioned earlier, guys, all of the features I just mentioned will only function if your Ram had them there in the first place. Now, what I mean by that is the mirror is not going to magically add the turn signals, the heating element, things like that to your tradesman, so just keep that in mind. It will retain functionality, it will not add functionality. Also, for everything that these mirrors do, they do not power fold. So if you're looking to retain that functionality, you will need to look into another option. They will fold, but they just won't do it through the button inside of your truck like they used to with the factory mirrors. Now, the mirrors themselves are going to feature a very similar build or construction to the factory mirrors in a lot of different ways, from things like the ABS plastic construction down to the location of the actual chrome skull cap here, in addition to a little bit of the textured plastic towards the body. Now again, these particular options do include the LED turn signals. Those will be found down here behind the clear lens, and there is an LED puddle light located on the bottom of the mirror, which is a nice little feature here, of course, to illuminate the ground at night. Now, even though the mirrors, again, don't power fold, they do still manually fold. They will tuck into the body here for added clearance. If and when you need to do that, again, you just need to do it manually. Finally, the mirrors will feature the same bolt pattern here, the 3 bolts, of course, on the inside that will bolt to your door, in addition to the same plug and play connector here. And that's gonna make for a very, very simple install, as we'll show you in a little bit. Now let's quickly touch on the price point here. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, one of the biggest features with this particular option will be the affordability when compared to an OE replacement found at your local Ram dealer. Now this guy coming in, again, mid $200, I'd say, price point per side, certainly gonna be far more affordable when compared to a factory replacement from your local Ram dealer. So just keep that in mind here. And again, if you cracked up one side, you need something affordable in a pinch, this is going to be the best bet, at least here on our site at the time of this video. Now, because these mirrors will feature a direct swap plug and play install, the site is going to stick with, I would say, a light 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here, taking you about maybe 30 minutes or so to complete from start to finish. But now's the time in the video where we want to shift gears. We're actually going to throw things out to an American Trucks customer now for a detailed walkthrough on their Ram. Check it out.
Hey guys, how you doing? Today I'm going to be installing a brand new chrome mirror on my 2015 Ram 1500. As you can see, my previous one has been damaged by a rock on the highway. So what we're going to do is take that off and put our new one on. Tools that you're going to need for the job are going to be some electrical tape, a 10mm socket, a T20 Torx driver or bit, a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, and some needle nose pliers. I have the 90-degree needle nose pliers to take off some trim. You don't need that. You can just use it with the regular needle nose, but if you have it, it's gonna be nice. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open the door and we're gonna start to remove some door paneling. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do in here is remove this little plastic cover. This is just in there with some push pins, so all you gotta do is just grab it, pull it straight back, and as you can see, it's just got a couple of push pins, and that just sits in there like that. We're gonna set that aside. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we want to get access to a Phillips head screwdriver that's behind this small little secret compartment. And what we're going to do with that, we're going to use our flathead screwdriver with some electrical tape taped to the top of it. The reason we have the electrical tape is to protect our panel from any scratches or gouges. The way to do this is you're going to want to use your fingernail to reach back in there to kind of pull it just enough away from the door so that you can fit your flathead in behind there. And then once you do, you'll be able to just pop it right out. Just like that. You're gonna push it out and down, and it's gonna pop right off, and it's gonna show you the flathead screwdriver that we need to take out. While we have our flathead screwdriver over here, we're going to remove our window control unit. It's pretty easy to take out. You can literally pull it up by your hand, or you can use your flathead just to kind of get it loose. You're just gonna lift that straight up. As you can see, it's got these little metal pins that kind of grip in there, so that comes out real easily. We're gonna disconnect our electronics. We're gonna push in this tab, pull it straight out. This one's in there pretty good, so you might have to give it some force. We're gonna push in this tab, and then we're just gonna wiggle it and pull it out. Next, what we need to do is we need to remove 6 T20 Torx head screws. These are plastic. They're not in there very well. You're gonna need a T20 Torx head, and you're gonna need your finger or some other type of tool to help pry it out, because as you can see, when I do this, it's gonna wanna spin on you. So this one, as you can see, just wants to keep spinning and spinning. So I'm gonna use my finger just to get it started, and that way it'll help back it out. Okay, I'm gonna set that screw aside. And then behind the screw is this little push pin that it screws into. Just pull that out with your fingers. Careful, they want to spring out of there, so just make sure you're going slow at it, because they'll spring and they'll go flying across the floor. Once you get it started, you can pretty much do these by hand. They're not in there very well. You can pull them right out. Same with the little washer, push pin. And we've got 2 down here underneath. Same thing. Just get started with your finger. Get our T20 screwdriver. And then once you get it going, you can just undo it by hand. Pull off the little push pin. All right, now we've got 2 more inside of the door panel over here. One at the top, one at the bottom. Don't worry, these aren't sharp or anything, so it's not cutting my finger or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that as you're using your fingernail or whatever you need to pull these out. They're not in there very well. Okay, once you've got the 6 T20 screws out. We're gonna go for this Phillips head screwdriver or screw. When getting this one out, you're gonna wanna go for the larger of the Phillips heads because it is a larger headed screw and you don't wanna strip it out. And I hold my hand under there to prevent it from dropping down into the door panel. I don't want to lose this stuff. Okay. Okay, that's out. We're gonna keep those somewhere we know where they're at. Now we have to remove the door panel. To remove the door panel, we have to pull it up and over this door locking mechanism here, and we have to fish it out through our lever here. So we're just gonna lift it straight up. Okay, it just pops right out. I'm gonna maneuver that. Okay, now once the door is off, you can actually take this little plastic piece off by pushing that in. Once that's in, it just comes out just like that. That's going to make reinstallation so much easier because once that door is in there, we can simply just fish our lever through there and then re-add this later. I'm going to set the door panel aside. Next, we're going to grab our ratchet with our extension, 10 millimeter. And actually before that, we need to remove this little push pin here. Yours might be on there pretty tough. So if it is, that's where the needle nose pliers are gonna come in. You're gonna wanna come in from behind and squeeze it to pull this out. Just like that. As you can tell, mine is not in there very well, so I'm just able to pull it out by hand. Yours might be a little tough. Okay, before we do the 10 millimeter bolts, we need to remove these electrical connections down here. They're pretty easy to do. You just need to push this little tab in here. And as you're pushing that tab in, pull it straight out. Just be delicate with this because if you break that little plastic tab, you're gonna have a loose connection and your mirror may not work properly. So once we get that pulled out, now we're gonna go after these 10 millimeter screws with our extension. And I'm just gonna back them off a little bit because I don't want the mirror to fall off and hit the ground. I plan on saving this mirror in case something happens to my new one, like another gigantic piece of asphalt or something that hits the mirror again. Okay, once you get them off a little bit, I take the extension off so I get a little bit better grip. I'm gonna remove the 10 millimeter nuts by hand. Keeping an eye on the mirror so it doesn't fall. Okay. Just like that. All right, so it looks like the mirror is being held up by a push pin. Yours may or may not be, so just be careful. So we're gonna go around and we're gonna pull the door off. Pull the mirror off the door. There we go. And as you can see, there was a little push pin connector. Again, yours may or may not be on there or might not have a good grab, so just be careful. And we're gonna fish this out. Like that. Now, our new mirror does not have this little connector on it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the connector, the little door push pin off of this old mirror, and we're gonna install it onto this new mirror. So I'm gonna set my mirror aside. All right, to remove this little push pin connector, I'm using a utility blade. You can use scissors, but we're just gonna go in there and we're gonna score that. Being careful not to cut the wiring on the old mirror, just because I plan on saving it. We're just gonna peel that off like that. And we're gonna get our electrical tape. And we're gonna install this on the new mirror. Keep in mind, you're gonna wanna keep this somewhere around the same location as the old one, which is roughly about 6 inches or so down. Give it a couple loops. All right. Now that that's on there, we're gonna fish this wire through from the outside. And we're gonna align our bolts and set it on there. We're gonna try to get this push pin connector to lock in. And as you can see, my foam gasket on my mirror is thicker than the old one, and it's not allowing that push pin connector to grab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my 10 millimeter bolts and thread it on just finger tight. To keep it from falling off the door so I can walk around and install the other ones. All right, now that we got that finger tight, we know that the mirror's not gonna fall. Now we're gonna grab our other two 10 millimeter bolts. I like to start all of these by hand whenever possible, just to prevent any kind of cross threading. Because if you can screw it on a few times by hand, you know it's not cross-threaded. Okay, we're gonna get it mostly tightened down. Grab our ratchet wrench, 10 millimeter socket, and we're gonna tighten it down. And I'm gonna tighten all these just till snug before I tighten them down the rest of the way, because I don't want it to break any of the plastic on the outside by bending it. And these were not on there all that tight to begin with, because these 10 millimeter bolts that come with the mirror, they're not very strong, so there's a chance you could snap those bolts off. So just wrist tight. There we go. Nothing crazy. There we go. There we go. All right, now we're just gonna reinstall. So we're gonna click in our little push pin connector. There we go. I'm gonna take the rest of this cord and I'm gonna tuck it into this groove back behind here. Just kind of tuck it out of the way so it doesn't get hit or anything. Reinstall our electrical connectors. The white one goes on the bottom. Push it until it clicks, make sure it's in there nice. There we go. And our black one goes on top. There we go, nice and snug. Now we're gonna reinstall the door panel. Okay, if you remember, we need to thread this or snake this little door knob or door locking mechanism through this hole, as well as our door handle. And as you can see, there's a little ledge right here that sits on top of this windowsill, if you will, as well as this little lever that has to lock in on top of this. That will align everything up and keep the door snug to the door panel snug to the door. So we're gonna align this, get that through first. Okay, now that's through. I'm gonna pull these wire harnesses for the window through. Just get that out of the way so it doesn't get pinched. And get that locked down there. You'll know you're in when all your holes line up and it just sits snug to the door. If you have some play down here, you know that you're missing one of those little hooks in there. So just give it a minute. It might take some maneuvering, but you'll get it in there. Next thing we're gonna do is install our door trim. So we're gonna just snake that through. And then how this works is this side needs to go in first, and then this side can click in. The right side will click in. There we go. Nice and simple. I'm going to reinstall our Phillips head screw. Be sure not to drop this in the door panel, or else you're going to be removing the door panel again to fish this out. So I like to hold my hand underneath there as I tighten this screw down. I'd rather it fall on the ground than in that hole. Okay, just snug, doesn't need to be crazy. We're going to grab our little secret compartment cover. This larger flange will sit in first, and then the rest will click in. So we're going to install the bottom, and then the top just clicks right in. Next, we're going to install our window control mechanism module. All right. Install this little guy in there. Clicks right in. Now the big guy clicks right in, and you just push it right down in. Boom. Next, grab your T20 screw, and what we're going to do is we're going to install all 6 push pin connections first before the screws. You just put those in first. They're going real easy. All right, now that those are in, grab your T20 screwdriver, and we're going to thread these screws in. Now remember, they're small, cheap plastic screws. You may not get some grab on them. So once they're in, don't over tighten them. You'll strip these threads out real easily. So just get them in there just until they grab and they sit flush. I'm just using my fingertips because, again, once they go in, I'm done. Whatever little grab they have, I want to maintain. I don't want to strip them out. There it is. And then lastly, our 2 over here on the side of the door. Last but not least, our little cover panel up here. That just remember snaps in, just like that, one at the top, one at the bottom.
So wrapping this one up here, guys, again, if you are looking to replace a driver side or a passenger side chrome mirror for your 13 through 18 Ram at home, be sure to consider these affordable powered and heated chrome options available right here at AmericanTrucks.com.